At my signal, unleash hell.
Alright Hollywood, what if the greatest warrior of Rome had everything? Honor, family, power, and then lost it all in a single breath? I just rewatched Gladiator, Ridley Scott's brutal operatic revenge tale, and if you don't have 2 hours and 35 minutes to spare, don't worry, I watched the Gladiator so you don't have to. Quick shout out to David Lynn for recommending this movie, and if you want a certain movie broken down, just comment down below. By the by, I'm the movie guy and let's start this video. We open on fire. Arrows, smoke, mud, the Roman Empire's war machine is in full force, grinding through Germanic tribes like it's another Tuesday. General Maximus Decimus Meridius, aka Russell Crowe, leads the charge. This man isn't fighting for gold or glory, he's fighting for home, for peace, for one last war. Victory is swift and savage. Maximus is hailed like a god among men, but while the soldiers celebrate, old Emperor Marcus Aurelius isn't smiling. He sees the rot in Rome. The Senate is weak. His son Commodus, a snake with daddy issues. So in the quiet of his war tent, Marcus tells Maximus the unthinkable. He wants him, not his son, to rule Rome. Maximus wants none of it. All he cares about is going home to his wife and son, but Commodus finds out, and let me tell you, never trust a man who cries while hugging you. Commodus suffocates his father in one of the coldest, quietest power moves in movie history. Maximus refuses to pledge loyalty to the new emperor, so Commodus orders him executed. Maximus escapes barely, but by the time he returns home, it's too late. His wife and son, crucified and burned. His land, ash. His soul, broken. Captured, enslaved, and thrown into the dirt like a dog, Maximus is sold to a gladiator school run by Proximo, played by the great Oliver Reed in his final performance. Proximo sees what Maximus is, a fighter who's already died once and has nothing left to lose. Before we head into Act 2, let's talk about what Act 1 gets right and wrong. First off, the opening is killer. The film throws you straight into war, and within minutes you know exactly who Maximus is and what he stands for. The emotional gut punch hits hard and fast. Let's move on to the second act and see what's happening next. So Maximus, Rome's most feared general, is now a nameless slave, stripped of his armor, branded like cattle, and about to fight for survival in the dirt. He ends up in Zucca Bar, basically ancient Las Vegas for blood sport. There he's bought by Proximo, an ex-gladiator turned fight promoter. This guy has one motto: win the crowd and you'll win your freedom. Maximus doesn't care, he's not fighting to live, he's just waiting to die. But death doesn't come. Not yet. Maximus enters the arena for the first time and turns absolute beasts into minced meat. The other fighters, in awe, especially Juba, a North African warrior who becomes Maximus' only friend. They're both broken men, but they fight like they've got something left to believe in. Meanwhile, back in Rome, Commodus is emperor now. But the throne doesn't come with love. The Senate hates him, the people just tolerate him. His sister Lucilla plays the long game, manipulating things quietly, and her son, yeah, that's Maximus' old buddy too. You can feel the tension. Commodus is power-hungry and paranoid, and Lucilla knows how dangerous that mix is. Proximo realizes Maximus is special, so he takes his gladiators to Rome, to the Colosseum, the Super Bowl of death matches, and that's when this movie really hits fifth gear. Maximus steps into the Colosseum under a mask, and he's supposed to die in a reenactment of a Roman victory, but surprise, he wins. His strategy? Just flip history. His squad plays the barbarians, and they end up slaughtering the Romans. The crowd loses his mind. Commodus comes down to meet the mystery man, and then it happens. The scene.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Boom. That's the midpoint. Before we dive into Act 2, let's pause for a second. This stretch of the film absolutely soars. Watching Maximus go from slave to arena legend is pure cinema. The crowd starts chanting his name, Commodus starts sweating, and the revenge story kicks into gear. It's all building beautifully. The reveal scene still gives me chills. That's how you do a midpoint. Maximus becomes a rock star basically. Every match he wins, every opponent he outsmarts, the cheers get louder. He doesn't just survive, he dominates. The name the Spaniard is whispered like he's a myth. But Commodus isn't just sitting back and watching. He tries to break Maximus in other ways, by keeping him out of the arena, by flexing on him in public, by hinting at his control over Lucilla and her young son. Commodus wants to provoke him into slipping so he can kill him without losing favor. Now Lucilla, Commodus' sister, has her own quiet war going. She fears for her son's life and she knows Commodus is spiraling, so she meets with Maximus in secret. These two have a past and sparks fly, but it's not about love anymore. It's about survival. Their plan is to overthrow Commodus, but Maximus doesn't want politics. He wants justice. He wants blood. Senator Gracchus joins the resistance. He hates Commodus and he sees Maximus as the symbol the people will follow. The plan is simple: smuggle Maximus out of the city, reunite him with his old army, and march on Rome. A full-blown coup, but Commodus starts sniffing out the betrayal. He threatens Lucilla, he spies on the Senate, and worst of all, he turns Rome into a circus. More games, more blood, more distractions. Maximus is thrown into a gladiator match that's straight up sadistic. He fights chained tigers, armored giants, and death traps. It's brutal, but he survives. And the Emperor is forced to step into the ring afterwards and shake his hand, and Maximus doesn't take it. The crowd gasps. Commodus is humiliated in front of all Rome. The plan to escape is put in motion. Maximus sends word to his old army, Lucilla arranges safe passage, but Commodus, sensing betrayal, strikes first. He has Senator Gracchus arrested, he watches Lucilla like a hawk, and he demands more and more loyalty from his guards, his sister, and his people. Final break until we get to the end. Act 2 has been solid. It's easy to get lost in Russell Crowe's fantastic performance, but Joaquin Phoenix is truly terrifying. The battle scenes continue to be a highlight, but I've also loved the dialogue thus far. Let's get to the finale. Maximus is ready to escape. His old army waits. The plan's in motion, but just before freedom, he's betrayed. Not by Lucilla, not by his allies, but by the guy guarding the gate. Rome has ears everywhere, and Commodus made sure Maximus would never leave the city alive. He's arrested, beaten, shackled, and Commodus, well, he makes it personal. This is where the Emperor hits rock bottom. He visits Maximus in prison and stabs him. Not to kill, just to weaken him. He wants to humiliate him in front of the crowd, so he arranges one final fight. Commodus versus Maximus, live in a Colosseum, honorably, but only after cheating every possible way. The arena fills, trumpets sound, Maximus stumbles out, bleeding from a hidden wound. The Emperor has the advantage, but Maximus he fights anyway. Steel clashes, blood flies, and the crowd watches the Empire crack open. Even wounded, even dying, Maximus is still stronger, still better, still righteous. He disarms Commodus, and in one of the most satisfying kills in movie history, Maximus drives the Emperor's own dagger into his throat. Maximus collapses, he's dying, but before he goes, he gives one final order: free the prisoners, restore power to the Senate, bury his family. And then Maximus dies, and just like that, problem solved. And somewhere after all that blood and vengeance, someone still had to clean up the Colosseum. Mopping up Emperor blood? Definitely not in the job description, but hey, Rome wasn't swept in a day. Gladiator isn't just a great movie. It's a thunderous reminder of why we go to the movies in the first place. It's epic without being bloated, emotional without being cheesy, and filled with moments that feel larger than life. From the haunting score to Ridley Scott's brutal, beautiful direction, every frame feels intentional. Russell Crowe delivers a career-defining performance, and Joaquin Phoenix gives us one of the best villains of the 2000s. But more than anything, it's a story about honor, loss, and the fight for justice, even when everything's been taken from you. 2 decades later, it still hits just as hard. And if this was the only Sword and Sandals movie ever made, honestly, it would have been enough. What are your thoughts on Gladiator? Let me know down in the comments. While you are there, press that like and subscribe button, and until next time, keep on watching movies, guys.